Good evening and salutations, my YNR fans. I've been trying to figure out what is this relationship with Tucker and Audra? Because it's clearly not so much him being in love with her, but I think he loves her. Because for a hot minute, I'm just like, I don't get the relationship. I mean, it's far more than just you know, um, mentor and hookup buddies and stuff like that. And I think that's what it really comes down to. And it was, I'm not gonna lie, for a hot minute I'm just like, why is a couple of times he kept me there, not so much confessing his undying love, but confessing his feelings towards her, you know? And they start talking about Kyle, and he's sitting there kind of wondering like, yo, where's your allegiances at? Like you still, keep focused on what the prize is. And of course, I just need to talk about like, yo, Kyle kind of got your plan figured out. So they're talking and everything, and she's just not happy where this is going. And she's like, yo, what are you gonna do with me? You clearly seem like you're gonna just throw Kyle under the bus. So what are you gonna do with me? And right there, Tucker's like, Kyle got to you, and he needs her for this plan. But I feel like it's more than just that. And he starts saying all these nice, flattering things. You're smart. I respect you, and this, that, and the third. And somewhere along the line, she can see that he's clearly being sincere about, how he feels about her. And like I said, just my general assessment, I think he loves her. I don't think he's in love with her, but I think he loves her. And if you ever loved someone and been in love, if you ever love someone at one point, but you also been in love with someone, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So he got his company Glason or whatever it is, and I guess he's going to try to move with phase two of his plan. Meanwhile, Diane is talking to Kyle, and Kyle is letting Diane know about the plan that Tucker has going on as far as throwing either Billy or Diane under the bus, but ultimately it's going to be Kyle as well. With that being said, Diane's like, you need to sit there and tell Jack at this point. Because he can't keep that up. Kyle's like, listen, I can only keep the charade going so far until I actually have to do something, like steal something, to give to Tucker to prove myself. And meanwhile, Jack and Billy's having a conversation about Billy leaving. Jack was just not ready for that. He doesn't want him to leave. But Billy feel like it's time for a couple of reasons. One, this whole going up against Tucker and everything like that, and he's talking about like the highs and lows, the rushes and stuff, is bringing him back to his gambling days. So he's like, this is not what I want. And number two, it's about Jack. It's about, it's very hard to sit and explain, but he was like, it's competition, but it's also to impress him. I think that's where the two kind of got a little confusing for me. He's like, oh, I want to sit there and prove myself to you. I want to really take Tucker down and sit there and prove myself to you. But I also want to sit there and one up you. And it's this weird conversation, but, Jack blames himself because he never wanted to make Billy feel like this was competition. Um, but, he made a decision. He also talked about he wants to work with his mom. And ultimately, I probably think it's the better move because, one, you can only go so high in that company. I mean, at some point, Joe will step down and he can always sit there and take over Joe's spot. But with Jack, yeah, I don't see that happening. So professionally wise, mental health wise, it's just a better move for him. And when Kyle and Diane come in, he gotta sit there and tell them that. And Dan's like, well, that's a shame. So I guess, I guess Kyle can sit there and have that position now, right? He pretty much kind of dismisses Kyle. He's like, you know what, listen, just go in the other room. I gotta sit there and talk to her. And he tells Diane, yeah, I don't think it's a good idea for him to sit there and take back that spot. Now, this whole breakup, I guess breakup, whatever it is, that Nate had with Victoria, it never really made sense. The way he snapped at her, I'm like, bro, you do realize that it's Victor that fired you, not her. Yeah, okay, I get it. You know, she didn't have his back or anything like that. You know, she did sided with Adam, but this is about her dad. You know, like at the end of the day, she can. Yeah, at the end of the day, she can only do so much. Even if she was to sit there and not side with Jack, I mean side with Adam, she can only do so much at the end of the day. So I felt like he overreacted. I felt like he overreacted. I really do. But I feel like he overreacted to get us to this point. Because now we got Cole back in the scene, and long story short, they get the DNA results saying that Claire is their daughter. So they're gonna want to sit there and bond with her, and just kind of commiserate and stuff. Well, not commiserate, but just really kind of just sharing that experience of finding out that their daughter's alive. And granted, they could have made it work with Nate, but I felt like, especially since Josh Griffin is the one that's writing it, I guess it was just a lot easier to just not include him in this whole thing if they were still together. That's why it never really made sense to me. Always wondering about them. Like, when we got to this episode, I was like, okay, now this makes sense. Now this makes sense. Um, Nikki's not happy. Um, that Claire's going to be in Genoa City. She's worried about Jordan. She's worried about Claire, and she still feels like she can't trust her. Now, towards the end of the episode, while she's taking a swig from the bottle, she sees Jordan. I'm like, where's your where's your damn security at? Where's your goddamn security at? Because this chick is literally just standing there like, what happened to your army of security people? He steps away from one. Victor steps away from 1 minute to make a call, and she's just right there, just hanging out, just chilling. Oh my goodness. Mm-mm. I don't know. I did generally like this episode today. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like GH. I thought it was actually pretty decent, but something about this episode just seemed like it was more. It just seemed like it was more. Wynard knows how to. I always sit there and say, Wynard knows how to play to his strengths. Of this slow burn, but still really interesting drama and everything like that. That's what I appreciate about Wynard. And I wish that GH would just learn to stay in his goddamn lane, but I've discussed that more in my GH review. I feel like that's pretty much about it. I can't really think of too much of anything else. But if I forgot anything, you know what to do. Come to the live tonight. Come to the live stream tonight. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll sit there and talk about all the shows. Young and the Restless, Born and Beautiful, Days of Our Lives, and Young and the Restless, Born and Beautiful, Days of Our Lives, and General Hospital. With that being said, I'm gonna go. I'll see you in the next video or live stream.